Two of the NASCAR Way Busch Series custom schedule season, and tonight we have the Busch Supermarket 200. And in today's race at Phoenix, we tried to go 2 for 2 to start the season. We are starting dead last with no practice, no qualifying, just like we did at Daytona yesterday. A thrilling race at Daytona to start the season. We only led 21 laps out of 120, but we were able to get the win. We got to the lead for the final time with about 20 laps to go or so. Kind of fought back and forth for a bit. Heavy blocks, a lot of crazy racing, 3x3 all the way through the field for the most part, at least in that lead pack of what was the majority of the field. And it ended up being a caution-free race. All of that coming down to the wire. We'll see what today will bring. Last night will be tough to beat, but we will try to go for the race win here at Phoenix. This is one of my better tracks on this game, so I would expect us to get the win even starting at the back with no practice or qualifying. We are racing as Jamie McMurray for this season because we're using the modern playoff format. We are locked into the playoffs winning at Daytona, but we are still going to try to go for the regular season championship, so we're going to try to rack up as many wins, as many good finishes as we can, and the more wins we get, the more playoff points we'll get, because that's the only way to score playoff points with no stages in any of these races. So an 18-race regular season, on to race 2. Phoenix, here we come. Green flag in the air, and we're underway. Daytona, if I'm not mistaken, is the only track that we go to more than once on the schedule. We'll go there again when we get to the playoffs. Dale Jr. on the pole. And we're just getting things started. Oh, a stack up. Getting into turn 3. Shahir Gaming and Entertainment, welcome to the stream. Pretty solid today. I'm awake. Ready for this one. I'm more awake than what I was yesterday, so that's good. Still had a pretty good live stream last night, though. It was a lot of fun. I'm going to be impatient in the early going. My car feels very tight. I think I missed the setup. Try to back these corners up a little bit more. That might help. 3 wide on the bottom. This could get a little bit tight down into turn 1. A little bit more space in 1 and 2, at least when you get past the pit wall on the inside. Patrick Chatterley, welcome to the stream as well. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what the 2311 NASCAR fallout of all that will be. Isn't this going to pretty much be settled in the off-season? December is the big court date, if I'm not mistaken. Give us some off-season material for maybe all the right, wrong reasons. Mostly wrong, but yeah, there's it's definitely dirty. We knew things could escalate and get ugly quickly, and it's starting to get to that point. Well, I mean, it's kind of been ugly for a while now, but it just keeps getting uglier and uglier, and I hate to see any race teams go out of business. Especially when you group Front Row Motorsports in there. They've been a mainstay in the NASCAR ranks for well more than a decade now. They were just on the up and up, too, I feel, in the last few years with Michael McDowell when he was there. Had a bunch of poles last season. Had a couple wins the last couple years, a Daytona 500 in 2021. This season, it's a bit of a down year compared to recent years, but you wonder how much of this stuff going on fighting NASCAR in court, you know, is that maybe putting things on a back burner from a performance standpoint? Wide and tight with a bit of contact and still having contact. Won at Richmond on NASCAR Heat 5, low fuel, old tires. And a photo finish win at Talladega. Sounds like you've had some exciting races recently. Major bounce off that curb, by the way. I'm definitely going to have to make an adjustment when I do get to the pit stops, and I really hope that this car isn't going to be terrible on the long run with how tight it may proceed to be over the course of a long green flag run. So I really feel like I'm going to be burning this right front tire off pretty early in the run. We've ran some flat tracks before on this game, and I feel like the right front tire is very, very sensitive. Teammate Matt Kenseth to the outside. We'll get by him into 3 and 4, up to 19th. A little less than 4 seconds off the lead from Dale Jr., who's led every lap so far through the first 11 now at the line. We just ran our fastest lap of the race in the early going. 28.817 as we get a bit loose. Entering turn 1, might get this spot right back up again. I overdrove it. And Kenseth is on the inside. Kenseth's got the spot back. Try to cross him over in turns 1 and 2. There we go. Yep, get right back around him. I didn't blow the corner that time. I almost have to enter low and stay low in turns 1 and 2. I tried to widen the arc down with as tight as the car is. It's hard for me to actually get to the bottom, even by the middle of the corner. Rodrigo Sanchez, welcome to the stream. 6 wins early in the season. Hopefully I can do the same here. We were able to do it in the Truck Series. I won the first 4 races of the Truck Series season before we lost a race, so we'll see how far we can go undefeated into this season. Probably going to be a little bit harder. I'm not in as good of equipment. Or I should say I'm not as good of a driver. The equipment is good. Roush in the mid to late 2000s still towards the top or at the top of their game. But Jamie McMurray, not a lot of wins through his career in the Busch Series. So for that, it might be a little bit of a challenge. Contact after bouncing off the curb, running side by side through the dogleg. Playing these EA games for a long time with the old Phoenix layout. I keep forgetting with NASCAR 25, we're going to be back to the new Phoenix layout here pretty soon. Some of these tracks are going to go through some changes. Atlanta, going to go through a huge one. We're not going to be on the old Daytona or Talladega anymore. We're going to be on the more modern one as far as the tire wear and asphalt itself goes. I'd be able to run the high side at Bristol where I can on this game. Really on most of the mile and halves, really. Can't get away with that on this game, but probably ripping the boards at Homestead in Kansas. Oh, whoa, whoa. Hung up on that guy's back bumper. He's trying to pull out a line to make the pass on him. And got hooked on him. Just about hooked him up into the fence. Baby power slide getting into the corner this time. Turns 3 and 4. contact with one Pablo Montoya. I don't think I saw him the entire race at Daytona. We saw quite a few drivers up at the front of the field, especially in that final stint to the end after the final pit stop. With going caution-free at Daytona, I'm also wondering when we're going to see our first caution of the season. Will it be tonight? Or will we go caution-free for 2 straight races to kick things off? I don't feel like we have a lot of cautions at Phoenix on these EA games. I definitely know I've had some caution-free races here in the past on the other EA games. I don't know about NASCAR 08 outside of the truck race. Truck race, I'm pretty sure went caution-free, but that one's a little bit shorter in length. Wade, welcome to the stream. Got a lot of room with Jeff Burton. Move him up out of line a little bit. He's able to get right back down to the bottom pretty quickly, though. McMurray looking for 3rd place underneath Paul Menard. A little bit of contact. Oh, don't wreck it. Don't wreck it. We're good. Almost wrecked it. Lap 23, though, up to 3rd place already. Kyle Lance, welcome to the stream. Kept running out of fuel at Sonoma. What game were you playing? I'd assume NASCAR Heat 5, but... Or were you playing an older game? I do think, if I had to guess, console game-wise, I would expect the new NASCAR game to race somewhat similar to the NASCAR Heat series in the later years. And it's been a while since I've even touched NASCAR Heat 5. We probably played NASCAR Heat 5 well over a year on the channel after it was created, but then once NASCAR 21 Ignition came along, I don't think I played Heat 5 anymore. So whenever the NASCAR 21 Ignition release date was, some 4 years ago, more than that by the time NASCAR 25 comes out, that's the last time I played Heat 5, so maybe a little rusty with the new game. I have a lot of miles logged in on NASCAR Heat 5, but that was a while ago. It's just like with these EA games. I mean, like, I've played a lot of them before. I haven't played NASCAR 08 up until this playthrough. But the ones we played on the channel before this, Thunder 04, Chase for the Cup 2005, 06 Total Team Control, and 07, I had played before, but it had been so long. That it did take some getting used to. And each game really was so different from one another. And even this one from NASCAR 07, the drivability of the cars is just so different. Year to year. I feel like it never drives exactly the same. There might be some tracks that it does, but it's not going to be that way at all tracks. Only about 1 second off the race lead. We got to 3rd place. Kind of been stuck here for about the last 6-7 laps. Not really closing a ton on the top 2. Again, Dale Jr. leads. I think it's Denny Hamlin in second. That 20 car. With all the Cup regulars we have running the Busch Series season and only 12 playoff spots on the line, I wonder if it's possible that we get more than 12 different winners. In the event of that happening, I will have to win a second time. Unless we're in the top 12 in points, but just in case. I'd like to think we can be, but better safe than sorry. Let's slide up the racetrack into turn 3. That is Denny Hamlin in the 20 car out in front of us. We have made it to lap 30. Expect this to be a 2 pit stop race pretty easily today. Driving it in a little too deep on entry. It's twice I've done that. In turns 3 and 4 on consecutive laps. Definitely feel on a consistency basis I'm better in 1 and 2. How did I rank in 04? Not great. We didn't win a single championship. That's the only one of the EA games that I didn't win a single title. The only other game I never won a championship that we played on the channel was NASCAR 21 Ignition, but that was a little bit different circumstance. I didn't play that game nearly as long. And our career mode, we'll never know if I would have won the championship because it reset everything before I made it to the finale, so we'll never know. Up to second, getting by Denny Hamlin through turns 1 and 2. We've got a slow car on the inside of the track. That's Kevin Conway. Tried to enter a little higher. Big slide on this outside lane. Hopefully Conway can get into the pits. Tire pack racing around him in turns 3 and 4. Almost gave up a little bit too much of the bottom. Hamlin nearly squeaking by. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anybody to play split screen with, so it doesn't concern me any. But for kids growing up, I grew up playing split screen a lot. So yeah, that stings. Kids nowadays not going to have the same experience I had when I was a kid. Especially if this game is good, like a lot of them were when I was younger. Dale Jr. blocking for his life, just like we were last night with Jamie McMurray at Daytona. Drove it in really deep. A little too deep. Got to run up out of turn 4. Side by side for the lead. And the old Denny Hamlin wide. Whoa, we're 3 wide. I didn't even know. Wow. Hamlin to second now. I didn't realize Denny snuck underneath both of us. And Hamlin's going to get right by us this time around. And we did not officially lead a lap there. Little contact with Denny through the dog leg. Great corner on that yellow line by McMurray. Now we're clear off turn 4. And we'll lead our first lap of the race. Hamlin overdrives it. And Dale Jr. is going to get back to the inside of Hamlin for second. picking up where we left off last night at Daytona with the over-aggressiveness. As long as I don't wreck it. I'm going to end up wrecking it. I keep racing like this over and over again. I'm going to create rivals. They're going to make my life a lot harder. Oh, I don't know Parker Retzlaff's hometown off the top of my head. No idea. I know a lot of the Cup guys and where they're from, where they go there, because they both lead laps there quite often, especially Austin Hill, and they mention it like every single time. Thought I knew. No, I have zero clue. I don't even know what state he's from. Parker Retzlaff is such like an off-the-wall driver, too. To know where he's from. I mean, if you're from nearby, like you mentioned, with 2 hours, it makes sense that you would know. If you saw it one time, you'd probably recognize it pretty quickly. I have no idea where any guys are from Truck Xfinity ranks for the most part. I know Connor Zilich is from North Carolina, too. But yeah, very few. See, at the Cup Series, I know a lot of the hometowns, let alone not just the states. A lot of the drivers are from. Retzlaff from Wisconsin. So, like, I know a lot of past drivers from Wisconsin, like Matt Kenseth, Paul Menard. I think Ty Majeski's actually from Wisconsin, too. Trevor Bayne, Tricon Garage at Darlington. I had no idea. I did not see that. I didn't know he was going to be on the entrance list for this weekend. Rhinelander, Wisconsin. I've never heard of that town in my life. That sounds like one of those don't blink or you'll miss it towns. Caution. For the first time today, lap 45, and the first time this season we're under yellow. Now, this is interesting because I don't know where exactly we're at for the fuel side of things. It looked like David Reagan might have blown an engine, tried to get to the bottom of the racetrack and got hit from behind, bringing out the yellow. Who was the guy that hit him? Was it Ambrose? 59 car? It was a blue car of some sort. Yeah, it was Ambrose. Ambrose into the back of Reagan. I think we're going to pit just to be safe. It looks like everybody else is going to stay out. We're going to top off. We're going to take 4 fresh tires and a full tank of Sunoco race fuel here. And we do have 1 set of tires left still the rest of the way. It's pretty early to be taking this set, but I didn't want to stay out and then have them pit. Because I know we're getting close to the end of the run. We're probably going to have to split the race in thirds had I stayed out with the extra caution laps. We might have been able to save close to about lap 70 or so. Natalie Decker is another Wisconsin native. You learn something new every day. Township of Talladega, maybe. But if we're talking the Talladega Super Speedway, I mean, it's a 2.66 mile track. I mean, you can see that from afar. All right, well, green flag back in the air. 3 cars out of the race already. We restarted in 40th. Not even a quarter of the way home yet. Got fresher tires on everybody. We've got more fuel than everybody. But we only have 1 set of tires left the rest of the race. So we're going to have to run this quite a ways. It's going to be a while before I have to pit again. I think we'll end up just going fuel only on our next pit stop. Just ran our fastest lap. 27.833. I didn't make any adjustments there. Probably should have made a wedge adjustment. I just don't like that I keep getting crowded by guys tonight. Especially in the dog leg, I've noticed. I get underneath of somebody out of turns 1 and 2, and if I can't clear them or get my nose out in front of them, I'm forced to have to run the curb, and every time I hit that curb, slide up the track just a little bit, and caution is out again, and that did not take very long. Probably debris for Ambrose, if I had to guess. So we get back-to-back cautions within a few laps. And actually, the debris is going to be Clinton Boyer, so we may get another debris caution with Marcus Ambrose at some point. Flurry of yellows may be incoming here tonight at Phoenix Raceway. Well, I guess at this time it's Phoenix International Raceway. They've gone through quite a few name changes at Phoenix. It was Jeff Gordon Raceway for one time. ISM. Anybody remember the ISM days? All right. If they pit, we're staying out. It doesn't look like they're pitting, so we're going to top off and take just a little bit of extra fuel. We ran a few laps there. I can't take tires. We only have one set left. I could take that half a round of wedge out of it now that I'm coming back down, see how that works for us. I know we went through a restart already, but we only had a couple laps there, so a little bit of a heat cycle in the tires. Yeah, Phoenix Raceway just rolls off the tongue a lot better. You're right. Alright, so topped off on fuel. I don't think that that's going to be the last debris caution. At some point, they're probably going to end up hitting under yellow. We keep getting more laps like this under caution, depending on what lap they exactly fly, and we kind of base our strategy off of that. Get right back to the lead again. Led for a few laps before the first yellow. Oh boy, I got really loose. Down into turns 1 and 2. Maybe I shouldn't have taken the wedge out of it. I was not expecting that much of a power slide. We got to save our tires too. And back up turns 3 and 4 just a little bit more than I did. Caution again. And it's Clint Boyer again. 2 debris cautions for Boyer. 3 yellows already tonight at Phoenix after going caution-free at Daytona yesterday in the season opener. Oh, about to find out if we're going to be topping off on fuel again or not. We're on our way back in again. I'm putting the wedge back into it again also. I like that. I wonder what this guy's looking at. Every time we go fuel only and he just hops in front of the car, he's like, what is he scoping out? Damn, that's a good looking Fusion. I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking. Dish Network. I'll have to try it out sometime. There's somebody on pit road. Who is that? Well, Pablo Montoya is on pit road as we restart. Is he one of the drivers that retired from the race? And maybe he's coming back out, and if he's coming back out on the track, he's going to be very slow. I think that is the case. He's coming back out on the race course. Yeah, 1 second, sir. Any damage? After the fusion line. Just ran our fastest lap, 27.261. Solid. Even more solid, 27.030. All right, give me room. There we go. Still pretty tight getting through there, but I had enough room. And we catch Montoya. He's going to be jacking this whole line of cars up. I hope they pit under green. I mean, they can't be any more than 20 laps away from the pit stop, and that's being very generous. They might be pitting well before 20 laps from now. And we're going to be able to go quite a ways with the flurry of cautions we've had so far tonight. I really like the spot we're in. Kind of wish we still had a little bit more for tires. It's the only risk with pitting that early. But again, I just didn't want to be stuck one, which is why I pitted when I did. No. I think we'll be okay, though. We're going to have to suffer a bit on tires for a while, but... keep getting these cautions, though. That is saving us laps on the tires. Justin B. So welcome into the stream. I think Montoya is on the outside lane, and he's starting to stack everybody up. Oh, boy. It's jamming the brakes. On the binders. Try not to hit anybody. We need this to stay green. I'd like for them to pit under green if possible. Haven't had that debris caution for Marcus Ambrose yet, that part of it. It scares me a bit. There's Montoya. There's the slow car. Not a good start to the season for one, Pablo Montoya. Fourth, just ran our fastest lap, 27.017. Make this pass for 23rd through turns 1 and 2. And Parker Meadows getting hurt a lot. He was banged up a lot of last year, too. Off and on again. This is a sub 27 second lap time. 26.669. Wow. What a lap. That was a few tenths quicker than the previous best. Kind of weird though how I'm doing that, because honestly I'm probably just pushing harder because I have a better feel for the car on lap 67 than I did on lap 1, especially not doing any practice or qualifying before the stream started. I was taking it a lot easier at the start of the race, trying to feel the car out, especially with it being tight. Now I'm able to kind of find the limit, stepping over it here and there, not by a lot. I don't think I'm at risk of spinning out. I've gotten pretty loose a couple times, but I've found the edge. alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in the race tonight. At the door to Bruno, welcome to the stream. Scoping the bugs out, is that what they were doing? Should have went out there with like a Armor All wipe or something. Give her a shine job. Contact with Sam Hornish Jr. And too bad. We've got green flag pit stops going on right now. Not for us. We're going to be able to go quite a ways. We topped off on fuel during every one of those cautions. We pitted for tires during the first one. And 3 sets of yellows. Oh, I heard some crunching. We're going to have the entire field a lap down here before long, unless somebody else pitted during one of those 3 yellows. I don't think that that's the case. One lap lead. See how long it lasts for. So we'll be the next car onto pit road and end up giving up the lead at some point. Like the cockpit camera view on the NASCAR. Oh, man, is he pitting? Why was he so much slower than usual? I mean, he was way slow in the middle of the corner. I was not expecting that one bit. I couldn't have hit him any harder. Oh, we've got another. Got 2 slow cars now. Montoya, who's already out there in the 110 car, just pulled out. Isn't that far in front of us. I'll be more leery of them checking up as much as Montoya just did. 3 and 4. All right, I'm aware he's going to be checking up big time here. Me jamming the brakes, trying to keep it off of him. I was expecting him to go slow, and he was even slower than I thought. All right, we're clear out of turn 4. Another one in the rearview mirror. The light bulbs in the car. Yeah, I don't know why the interior was so dark. It must be because of the black paint scheme. Maybe the interior is just all black, or more black than usual. It is a night race. First truck start since 2023 for Bain. So what, is he going to be driving the one truck then? Whoops. Remember the 2021 Xfinity race at Talladega? I think that was the one I was there for. Oh no, I was only at the Cup race that weekend. Or wait. No, that was the one that Jeb Burton won, wasn't it? The rain shortened race? Yeah, I was at that one. Then Keselowski won the next day. I saw Brad win a lot in person in his later years on the 2 car. Bain is in the 1. So I figure they've had a lot of part-time drivers in the 1. I know William Sawalch has ran quite a few races on a part-time basis in that 1. Brent Cruz was in there at one point. Quite a few others. It's a good-looking Fusion from the outside, not the inside. I just feel Montoya is more slow every time I catch him. (2311's won twice at Talladega and Indy now. That's a good point. Yeah, Bubba got their first win for the organization back in 2021 in the fall at Dega, and then Reddick won there in the spring last season. Now Indy, obviously different configuration, so it's kind of a different track with the road course for Reddick and then Wallace on the oval. But yeah, they haven't won a lot, but same circuits, or not circuits, but tracks in general. Still just holding a solid gap over everybody else. A lot of racing to go yet. Those early cautions kind of plagued the initial start. Especially pitting during everyone. We pretty much ran the cautions all the way out with doing so. Oh, you're right. Yeah, that's a good point. Reddick did win with RCR. That was his last win with RCR, wasn't it? Or no, he won, he might have won Homestead that year with what? Oval, no, it was Texas? Texas he won with RCR. That was his last one. Because he did have one oval win. Kel, welcome to the stream. Old Council's way better. Yeah, a lot of the fun stuff that I do gaming-wise that isn't on the YouTube channel with other games, primarily on my PS2. I think Kyle Busch is going to win anytime soon. I think that team's got Kansas circled. Because he had a very good run there in the fall last year. And then he was trying to put Chastain a lap down. He had a decent-sized lead. Just had to be more patient getting around him, and maybe things could have been different. I think he's got that circle. If we're looking at Busch to have a good run before the season's out, I think Kansas is going to be that sneaky good run for him. I don't know. I don't really know about anywhere else. He had speed at Texas on 1.5 miles earlier this year. They only have, what, 2.5 mile tracks? He'll probably be good at Gateway. So maybe if they can get the track position and strategy game right at Gateway, he could be good there. But I think Penske and Bell are going to be the ones to beat. Maybe Busch can flirt with a 4th, 5th, 6th run. Obviously, anything can happen at Talladega. So if he were to win anywhere, I would say those 3 tracks specifically would be the ones that he would get it done. I don't see it happening, but if it were to happen and he gets a win before the season's out, I think it's one of those 3 tracks. He's been good on the Robles too, but nobody's beaten SVG, I don't think. I'd be shocked, and I definitely don't think it's Kyle Busch if anybody beats SVG at the Roval. Couple laps away from halfway. If you're wondering why we have a 1-lap lead on the field, we're on a different pit strategy. Had a few cautions. We did come down onto pit road during the yellows. Nobody else did. They stayed out. They pitted under green. And now we're at where we're at. Which is a 1-lap lead, and we will have to be the next car to pit road. The hope is that we only have to pit one more time the rest of the race. So we're definitely going to have to run this out as far as we can. We only have 1 set of tires left the rest of the way because I do limit myself to make things more difficult on this game as well. It's how many sets of tires we have, and we already used our first set with the first stop. And we used it much earlier in the run because we pitted for tires during the first caution and then topped off on fuel during the next 2. When we had 3 consecutive yellows over the course of about a dozen laps. I'm surprised how much the car actually frees up over the course of the run. Because as tight as it starts out, I just imagine that I'd be plowing the right front off by the end of the run, but that's just not the case. Actually using quite a bit of the rear tires. Big corner. Kind of feathering the throttle. Both ends of the racetrack. I mean, I can definitely see Bell winning at Gateway. Gateway, New Hampshire, I think Christopher Bell's going to be the favorites there. Those are his style of racetracks. He won at Phoenix earlier this season, led a lot of laps in that race. I think Bell's got a really strong case for the championship this year. I think Briscoe's probably the wild card of the playoff drivers to win the championship because he's also turned it on pretty hot lately. And he's been hotter than Bell through the summer months. And he's been good on the flatter, shorter ovals just like Bell. Not to the success Bell has had, but he did win at Phoenix with SHR a couple of years ago with the next gen in the spring. And Toyota's in my opinion, the second-tier team at Phoenix behind Penske. Penske didn't perform well in the flatter, shorter ovals outside of Ryan Blaney at Iowa so far this season, so I think they're going to have to turn it around a bit on that side of things. I'm very curious to see what Penske does at Gateway. If Penske goes back to their dominating form at Gateway in New Hampshire at the flat ovals, I'm going to have more confidence in them at Phoenix to win the championship. Kind of same thing with Martinsville for Blaney as well. But, Martinsville in the spring, Ryan Blaney really wasn't anywhere to be found. Same for Joey Logano. Blaney had a top 5 at Iowa, but that's really it for the shorter, flatter ovals. Even speed at Phoenix in the spring for Penske, nowhere near what it was in the fall the last couple of years. And they've been better in the fall race there than the spring race before, but they were well off this year compared to normal. Elliott to win the championship. I just don't see a Hendrick car winning the title with the championship at Phoenix. The flat short ovals are the Achilles heel for HMS with this next-gen car. And I would not be shocked if we see one of them bounced in the round of 16, another one bounced in the round of 12, with having a New Hampshire race in there, having a Gateway race in each of those rounds. I think Bowman gets bounced in the round of 16. I would say probably Elliott getting bounced in the round of 12. And, Larson and Byron can definitely both make it to Phoenix, but I just don't see them winning the championship. And I think if they both make it to Phoenix, that only furthers the odds for a Bell or a Blaney to win the championship if they make it to Phoenix, or a Briscoe. I don't see HMS winning the title. And for their sake, if the same playoff format continues next season, the championship is not in Phoenix anymore, and I think that really opens the door up more for a Larson to win the title at a Homestead. Even Alex Bowman had a great run there earlier this season, and he's been great on tracks where there's been a lot of tire fall off this year. That's where he almost won at Homestead. Richmond, he had a solid run a couple weeks ago, so those are tracks Bowman excels well at. He had a win at Auto Club on the old Auto Club in one of their last races. Vegas, one of his only 2 next-gen wins. He excels pretty well when there's low grip, longer runs. Love to see a new champion. Yeah, I mean, if we're going to see a new champion, it's probably going to be Chase Briscoe, if I had to guess. Or Austin Cindric. If Penske's that dominant at Phoenix again, all the way across the board. I mean, you think about Cindric. He won a Gateway last year. New Hampshire's in the next round. He's probably the best all-around road course racer of Penske as well. So at the Roval, maybe he gets a top 10. I know Blaney had a great run at Watkins Glen and was the best one there, but usually it's Cindric. And, maybe he can point his way into the next round. After that, then you're looking, you got Talladega where he has a win at earlier this season. I mean, does Cindric make it to the championship? I mean, it's not impossible. And Penske being good at Phoenix, I'm just saying. There is a path for Cindric to win it all. I don't think it's going to happen. Like I said, my sleeper pick to win the championship is Chase Briscoe. But my number 2 for the sleeper side of things, if you're looking at an underdog to win it all, would be Austin Cindric for those factors. And he's way more of a long shot. Championship rotation or what? Hopefully. Crazy thing is, too, if you think that, for instance, my guy, Ryan Blaney, he probably should have won at Homestead earlier this season. So, as a Blaney fan, I don't feel, bad at all about them moving the championship away from Phoenix, because I think he can go out there and win at Homestead, too. He's had great speed there the last couple of years. He almost won there last season, got passed by Reddick on the last lap, and then this year, he had the fastest car, but the engine blew out on him before he got to the finish. I mean, he had a nearly 10-second lead at one point at stage 1. He was cooking everybody. Lost some track position. He was coming back from behind. And like I said, the engine blew out on him. Running into the back of Montoya. Oh, wow. Trying to get out of the way. I think Jeff Burton just exited the pits as a slow car, too. He had 2 of them right in front of us. Yeah, under a one-race championship situation at Homestead, I like a Tyler Reddick, a Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin would probably be my 4. But I would lean more towards the other 3, not Hamlin. And then Bowman would be a wild card. Joey Logano's had decent runs there, but not to the extent the next gen that the other guys have had. How many slow cars do we have? Got a lot of slow cars in this race. Sometimes they'll brake check me. They've definitely done that. Well, like I said about Briscoe being a new champ, I mean, obviously Bell or Briscoe would be the new champion that I could see happening. I mean, maybe Denny Hamlin. It would definitely come out of the Toyota camp. Byron's been consistent. He's just, again, Hendrick Motorsports just doesn't have Phoenix as one of their greater tracks. With the next gen specifically. I mean, obviously Larson and Elliott won championships at Phoenix, but that was with the Gen 6. The next gen specifically, they just do not have the flat ovals down. You see Briscoe, you'll buy his championship gear if he does. Remember you saying something about, didn't you say like one of your buddies or something like that was a Briscoe fan? Really, really trying to extend this fuel run as far as we can take it. Had an amazing amount of fall off with these tires. Over a second slower that last lap than our fastest lap of the race before that. John Wood, the 47 slow. What was that? He just crowded me into the wall. It's uncalled for. That was a second and a half slower than my fastest lap. That was because of the paint job he gave me. Yeah, I mean, so Byron won that spring Phoenix race, but in the fall they have not been great at Phoenix. And honestly, even since that race specifically, they haven't been great. The spring race, the last 2 years, they haven't been very good either. And they've won the spring race at Martinsville. It's something about late long runs on the flat ovals is where they really struggle. They can't hold up on the long run. That's what's killed them at Phoenix in the fall the last 2 years, because we've barely seen any cautions. And Ryan Blaney's so good on the long runs that that's really helped him, and obviously Logano too. Driving up the side of Jeff Burton. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, you're right. We have had a lot of cars DNF. What happened? That's a good point. I haven't looked up at the leaderboard or at the track map to realize how many cars we're missing. I'm well aware I'm light on fuel. I'm really trying to stretch this so we can make it a one more pit stop. We're at 73 laps to go right now. Paul Menard's in second. Well, I ran until she was dry. Just getting into turn 3. So we're not really going to lose much time out of this. We'll coast our way into the pits. Got to make sure we don't speed. Great job. 4 tires and a full tank of Sunoco race fuel. This is our final set of tires in this race. I'd really like this to stay, for the most part, green the rest of the way. Oh, no. Not this. No. No, not again. Oh, no! We've had this before. The pit road glitch. Oh, we had such a great race going. We haven't had this since the Truck Series at Atlanta. Race 5 of the last season. Oh, my gosh. I hate that this happens, and I don't know why it does. I'm doing the points myself, too, so, like, I can't... Ran out of fuel and came to it? No, that's not the case. The AI takes over when you get to pit road, when you run out of gas, so that's not the issue. That's only a NASCAR 21 ignition problem where I've ever had that happen on a consistent basis. That isn't why we stopped here. We stopped just for the random reason. I'm guessing my pit box is in front of the guy that's in his right here, and for some reason it's just not letting me get in the box. Well, we're not going to go 2 for 2 to start the season. Man, we had such a great race going. We were going to be close on fuel, but we'll never know. Could have been an exciting finish. No, I think we're going to get stuck here the rest of the race. And they're obviously going to have to pit again at some point. It's not even letting me pause the game. Paul Menard leads. Oh, I guess I can get the running order. Season leaderboard. Oh, you can check the points as they run? That's pretty cool. Jamie McMurray's not in the number 618 car, so that doesn't make any sense. I don't know what the numbers on the left are, but... Next pit stops. Oh, I didn't even know this. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, I can't pause the game, though. Already 5 laps down. I mean, that's just unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. I'm not sitting here for 70 laps. See, somebody just passed me on pit road. Like, that doesn't make any sense. I did my job. Gonna have 2 different winners to start the season. And this hurts our regular season championship standings, too. We're definitely going to fall out of the points lead. I don't know how many cars were out of the race. Somebody said 25 earlier. So we may end up with a decent finish for a DNF. Probably looking at like a 17th or something, but wow. Yeah. No, we're stuck. We're not moving. We've been here before. We are not moving. I don't know why you keep saying embarrassed when these things happen. I don't think you know the textbook definition of the word embarrassed. What is the definition? We've got time to kill. I'm more befuddled than anything. Feeling of self-conscious shame or awkwardness. I mean, maybe the awkwardness a little bit, but there's definitely no shame here. I mean, I didn't do anything wrong. 17th to 18th, yeah, probably 17th. There are cars that did return to the racetrack. 70 laps left. I don't know how many of them. I'll have to score myself 17th. I'd like to give Paul Menard the win because he is leading right now. I'd hate to simulate it and him not get a great finish. I think we're going to keep the top 9 the way it is. Should have pitted sooner. I don't think that was going to do anything. It wasn't because we ran out of gas. It was... we had this problem at Atlanta as well in the truck series. I'm pretty sure I didn't run out of gas there. I could go back and check just to make sure. And then maybe we figured out what the issue is. But I'm pretty sure I didn't have that specific problem at Atlanta. Let's see here. Live streams. Oh boy, it's going to take me a minute to try to find this. Truck Series custom schedule. Let's go Atlanta. I'm going back and looking at Atlanta. No, I wasn't out of gas there. Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what I did. I'm going back onto this stream to see if there's any similarities as to what I could have done different. The only other thing I can think of is maybe I have to enter pit road a little higher and be more in the second lane than the first lane. The problem is it moves you down to the lane I'm in anyway right before you enter the pits. only other thing I could think of. My guess is with all the DNFs that we ended up having, that there were many other drivers that had the same problem. And that's why they DNF'd as well. All right, I got to get to the exact lap that I pitted in this race. I think I'm there. I seriously don't like how we have pit stops going on right now and they're just able to pass us. All right, so pitted. Yeah, we had a full lap lead. I mean, we were going to give that up on pit road, obviously. I don't know if I would have made it on field to the end. It was going to be very close, but would have been a splash and go. Hopefully cycled right back out in front at the end of the race. I like the position we were in, regardless. Looks like we're not going anywhere anytime soon. Yeah, I cannot pause this game. I'm not going to be able to ride it out to the finish because I can't cross the checkered flag myself, so at some point I'm going to have to exit out of this and then simulate from there. I'll wait to see who cycles off of pit road with the lead. And I'm going to give the race win to that driver. Paul Menard was leading before the pit stops. It looks like he cycled back ahead of Reed Sorensen and Denny Hamlin again, so it should be Menard leading. We still got a few more cars that have to pit. Man, this stinks. Good news is it is just the second race of the year. It's going to happen. We're doing the playoff format. It's going to happen in the championship four at some point, isn't it? I don't understand how I've had this issue twice now. And we went through we did go through an entire season of truck, Busch, and all but 4 races of Cup. Didn't happen. And then we get it at Atlanta in the truck race on the custom schedule season. And now we get it at Phoenix on the custom schedule season. We've still got about 50 laps left. So, yeah, again, we're not going to stay here for the rest of the race. I'm just going to assume Paul Menard's going to have the lead. I don't want to wait for these last several cars to hit pit road. We're going to give Paul Menard the race win tonight. Paul Menard. We're in 13th the whole time. Do you think there's more cars that exited the race end up with a 13th place finish? Fastest laps on 30th. That doesn't make any sense. All the laps we led. 25.172 is the fastest lap. Good God. Mine's a 26.669. How's that even possible? Still can't pause. All right, so I'll give ourselves a 13th place finish, which for a DNF is not bad. But, yeah, it sucks. Now we got to restart my PlayStation. Dang. We'll get the finishing results here at some point. First DNF of the year. And it's only the second race. I'll take a 13th, though, for a DNF. It definitely could have been a lot worse. We could have finished like 40th. 7.0 average finish then. Paul Menard getting the dub. Yeah, I did mute everything. Do the PlayStation's on the right-hand side. Well, that's a weird thing to know. But all right. It's the easiest spot for me to reach because my bed's on my left. So I'm not going to like have it next to my bed when I get out in the morning and trip over it all the time. Then I have a desk over here on the right, so more convenient. Hey, sports. It's in the game. All right, we'll go to the season. Continue. Simulate. Hopefully it just gives Paul Menard. Good thing I'm doing the points myself. Yeah, see, Greg Biffle got the win this time, which is not accurate. So Menard was second, so I'll just have to flip Biffle and Menard around. Flip Biffle and Menard. Or to put us. Worse than 13. And put us 29th with a pole and no laps led. 12-second margin of victory, by the way. And it says caution free, but in actuality, we would have had 3 yellows, which is what we had in the race before the DNF. Yeah, some guys are going to get screwed out of a good finish. Like Reed Sorensen would have been second. Denny Hamlin was up in contention. He doesn't even get a top 10 either. Yeah, everybody say cheese. Casey Mears, 2 DNFs to start the season. That's not good either. All right, well, we've got Kansas tomorrow night. 1.5-mile track should be a fun one. And we'll try to get back to victory lane. Hopefully all goes well. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe for more NASCAR content. We'll be back at it again tomorrow. 6 p.m. Eastern, hopefully start time. Just depends on when I get home from work exactly. But hopefully we can get the full race in tomorrow. Yellow Transportation 300 in Kansas Speedway. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good rest of your night.